What's up, guys? Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan. How are you doing here to discuss round one, day number 2 of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. You can catch my recap of day 1, round 1, day 1 that is, as well on this channel. Be sure to check that out. If you do like the content of this particular video, go ahead, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe as well to the channel, and let's get started, guys. I got some main points here up on the board, and this will cover, of course, Saturday's action, day 2 of the first round. I tell you what, guys, I mean, the day started, as far as my bracket goes, let's just get that part out of the way real quick. Let's talk a little bracketology. As far as my bracket goes, the day started outstanding. I was getting win after win after win. And then when all was said and done, as I'll get into a little bit more specifics in a moment, I would finish the day at 10-6, which I'll take. 10 wins and 6 losses. It was a whopping 1 game improvement off my previous day performance of day 1 of the tournament, where I went 9-7. So let's get started, guys. Got some key points on here for you. Here we go. I start off with COL question mark, meaning Colorado. This team, and when I put a question mark, I really mean, does this team have what it takes to get deeper into this tournament? And who knows, go to a Sweet 16, an Elite 8, and so on and so forth, because they looked really good. I was watching that game against Georgetown. It was one of the early games on Saturday. They were hitting three-pointer after three-pointer, and let me tell you guys, they got some big-time shooters on this Colorado team. They could stretch the defense. They're hitting their threes. They got more than 1 or 2 prime shooters on this team, but here's the problem. There's only one problem, and that is they run into Florida State in the second round later today. As I make this video on Sunday, we are getting ready for the second round. Take that back, Monday. I said Sunday. They will play Florida State on Monday. Guys, Colorado is a really good team, but I don't quite see them beating. I don't make too many picks on this channel, but I will say I did choose Florida State. It's kind of a little bit of an off the limb type of pick for me, but I do have Florida State as one of my final 4 teams. Therefore, I am saying that they will beat Colorado on Monday, but I start off this particular video saying I am very impressed with what I saw in Colorado. I did not realize they were that good. Moving on, UCLA, point number 2. This is now all of a sudden is one of the big teams in the tournament. You know how each year, March Madness, NCAA tournament, there's that handful of schools that are the headline grabbers, and they just are one of those teams that you're going to remember from that year. UCLA is now taking on that identity with an upset victory on Saturday. That was a nice win against BYU. Not a huge upset. It was an 11 versus 6 type matchup. But let's not forget, they also won in the what they now call the first 4, which took place Thursday night. So technically UCLA now has 2 wins in the tournament, guys, because they did play in the first 4. They do have 2 wins in the tournament. Let's keep our eye on UCLA. They look very good defensively. They really dig in that half-court defense. Was also watching that game. I'll get to in a little bit, a few moments, in a little bit more detail, in that win last night against BYU. Upsets, okay, there's plenty of those, guys. There's plenty of upsets going on in this tournament. Some tournaments you have more upsets than others, of course. This particular tournament, there's at least an average amount of upsets. Again, things were smooth sailing yesterday. The higher seeds were winning. Alabama gets the win. Other teams, the higher seeds. Of course, Gonzaga gets a giant 40-something point win. Everything was going as expected. Then the night games kicked in, and then that's where all the craziness started really happening. So, yes, upsets are huge in this tournament. It makes it interesting, of course, makes it a little bit more exciting, obviously. 1913 question mark, unfortunately, that's how I finished. Just to share with you guys. I know you also fill out brackets. By the way, if you have brackets and you're in a bracket challenge or what have you, comment below. Let me know how you did. Usually I shoot for at least 20 wins. This is always in the first round total games because you're looking at 32 games in the first round. I usually try for at least a 20-12 record. Many years I'll go, which isn't that great, but I'll go like 21-11, 22. I think my record's like, one year I went 24-8. That's about as good as I've done, which I'll take that. 19-13 very mediocre. If anything, that might even be below average. You really should win, in my humble opinion, 60% at least of your first round picks. If you're just picking straight up like I'm doing, it's not like I'm going against a spread or anything like that. So I did very mediocre. I lost out on, I picked Syracuse as an upset win, and I got that, but I didn't, where I went wrong this year, I didn't successfully pick those few extra upsets that took place. Now let's move on, guys. The games themselves, and I'm going to go over with you real quick also which ones I got wrong. Gonzaga, of course, destroyed Norfolk State, 98-55. Of course, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't pick Norfolk State. I don't think anyone did out there. Oklahoma beats Missouri by 4. I lost that one. That was an 8-9 game. It can go either way. I thought Missouri had what it takes to win this game, but they did lose. Creighton pulls out a 1-point victory over University of Santa Barbara. Some people at Santa Barbara who had a nice team, nice season. I took Creighton. I actually won that one. It was only a 1-point victory. One of the bigger upsets, University of Ohio beats Virginia 62-58. Ohio now taking on that Cinderella identity, and now you're starting to see them getting all hyped up in the pregame shows today, this morning. Deservedly so. I lost that one. I didn't pick that upset. USC defeats Drake 72-56. Definitely picked that one. Actually, guys, I have USC going pretty far in the tournament. And I'll tell you this, they got overlooked a little, in my opinion, in terms of where they were ranked, even with the seed. I mean, they were like barely cracking the top 25. And if you look at their ranking as like a 6 seed, that holds up in terms of seeding with the tournament. And their record was pretty good. So, and they play in the Pac-12. For whatever reason, this USC team getting a little overlooked, in my opinion. Kansas defeats Eastern Washington by 9. That score is 93-84. So I got those two right. VCU loses to Oregon. Now I'm not going to really get into exactly what happened in that one, but you guys know the details on that. So, or you can look it up on your own, but Oregon advances to the next round. And then it's Iowa, excuse me. It is Iowa defeating Grand Canyon by 12. So Iowa with a big win, 86-74. Michigan defeats Texas Southern, won that one, 82-66. See, some of these are easy picks, guys, if you just go with the favorite. But then again, the success of your bracket really determines, especially this year, it seems, like more than others, your ability to pick those upsets. LSU over St. Bonaventure by 15, 76-61. Got that right. Colorado over Georgetown, as discussed. They wound up beating them by 23, 96-73. FSU over UNC Greensboro by 10. Got that right. And then I lost the last 3 out of 4 games. Lost BYU, losing to UCLA. I had BYU. UCLA by 11 in that one. Texas, the crushing upset where Abilene Christian, another huge underdog, Cinderella Cinderella story in this tournament, defeats University of Texas by a point, 53-52. I got that wrong, and I'm sure many other people did. And Maryland with a 9-point victory over UConn. I had UConn. Maryland wins 63-54. Alabama defeats Iona College 68-55. Rick Pitino, great job there in his return in his first season as Iona Gales head coach. Great job, Rick Pitino. They were in that game. I was watching that game. That was around a 4-ish p.m. start Eastern yesterday, Saturday. Was checking that out. Alabama looks pretty good. Not fantastic, but they look good. So, next up, here we go. This will be Monday. Now this moves into the second round. Second round matchups, guys. It's going to be Gonzaga and Oklahoma playing in the second round. Then you got Creighton up against Ohio. That'll be interesting. That means one of those two teams goes to the Elite Eight, by the way. USC, Kansas. I got USC in that one, by the way. USC, I like that team. Kansas looked a little shaky, too, against Eastern Washington with a 9-point victory, but it was closer than that for most of it. Iowa gets Oregon next round. Michigan, LSU. That'll be a nice one. That'll be a good game. Colorado, FSU, as discussed. Colorado looks good. That's a 4 seed versus 5 seed in the second round. That's a heck of a second round game. UCLA will take on Abilene Christian. So going back to UCLA, things now all of a sudden are kind of working in their favor to where this team might even be a Sweet 16 team. From barely making the tournament to playing that extra game on Thursday to 1 win away, just beating Abilene Christian to go to the Sweet 16. And Maryland will take on Alabama on Monday. Maryland will take on Alabama. Got to go with the Crimson Tide there. Alabama's got a little too much, I think, for Maryland, so I'm definitely going Crimson Tide there. Let me know who you picked and how you did in your brackets. We will talk again soon. Check out the round 1, day 1. If you haven't seen that one yet, go check it out. That video, and I'll talk to you soon. This is Sports Snippets signing out.